In 1952, a Metal Trades Award established working conditions for workers in that industry. One provision of the award prevented the relevant union from striking. In 1955, while the award was still in effect, the union unlawfully went on strike, demanding additional wages. Other unions, including the Boilermakers Society, were charging a levy on their workers and contributing that money to the unlawfully striking metalworkers. The employers went to the Commonwealth Court of Conciliation and Arbitration and sought and obtained an order requiring the Boilermakers to cease their financial support. They obtained such an order, and then the Boilermakers went to the High Court seeking a writ prohibiting the enforcement of the Court of Conciliation and Arbitration's order. Their argument was that the court was unconstitutional, because even though Australia practices the Westminster system instead of the full separation of powers, the judicial power of the Commonwealth was required to be kept separate from the overlapping executive and legislative powers. They argued that because the court undertook arbitrations, which are an executive function, the court could not also undertake a judicial role. A majority in the High Court agreed, and their decision was ultimately confirmed by the Privy Council. The majority judges, Chief Justice Dixon and Justices McTiernan, Fullagar and Kitto, said, "It is difficult to see what escape there can be from the conclusion that the arbitration court is established as an arbitral tribunal which cannot constitutionally combine with its dominant purpose and essential functions the exercise of any part of the strictly judicial power of the Commonwealth. The basal reason why such a combination is constitutionally inadmissible is that Chapter 3 of the Constitution does not allow powers which are foreign to the judicial power to be attached to the courts created by or under that chapter for the exercise of the judicial power of the Commonwealth." The result of this case was to confirm two things. First, courts established under Chapter 3 of the Constitution can only exercise judicial power. And second, judicial power can only be exercised by courts established under Chapter 3 of the Constitution. The result, in the end, was that the order against the Boilermakers was not enforceable, and the Commonwealth Government had to redesign its institutions, creating a Conciliation and Arbitration Commission to exercise the executive arbitration power, and an industrial court, a Chapter 3 court, to exercise judicial power.